Ready for Pro Twins action, but I can bring you the results for the last race, the 600 Supersport New Zealand TT. Al Hugenbosom, Toby Summers, Jeremy Holmes, James Hugenbosom, Aaron Chambers ready for a start now, and Wood hold position number 74 is Robert Whittle, so it's all eyes on this. This is a class that used to run within a class. It used to run out there with the super lights, but they managed to round up enough Pro Twin bikes to get out there and put a field on their own, and it's entirely made up with the exception of one machine, and that's this bike in the third to last position, the bright yellow Kiwi Bike Insurance sponsored Kawasaki ER6 of Nikki Smith from, well, she's from Taranaki, but she's now working in Auckland, so that's Nikki Smith out there on the yellow Kawasaki. The rest of them are 650s. And Dean Bentley not doing too well at the moment. He's sitting back there in 5th place. In fact, he was about 6th or 7th there. I don't know what happened off the start there, but Dean Bentley, yesterday's race winner, was sitting there in 5th, but expect fireworks from him. Also looking out in the front there, and it is, I think, Doug Stockwell out in the front with Royd Walker-Holt, different colours leather. Yeah, definitely Doug Stockwell with the blue bike, and Royd Walker-Holt's got a bit of fluoro in his leathers. Every commentator's dream there, sitting in 2nd place on the track. This is an 8-lap race, and this is the New Zealand TT class. The organisers have decided to pull the New Zealand TT ahead of schedule. It was going to be the 2nd race of the day, but it is now the 1st because they are predicting rain for later on in the day. And just appear outside, all a relatively compact field. The eyes right now are on the Dean Bentley machine in 5th place. He's the man that won the race yesterday, and he's got a bit of work to do. Unfortunately sidelined from the South Island rounds due to an injury in an outside a motorcycling incident, but the lead changes there, the lead changes. Royd Walker-Holt, who had a clean championship up until this round, had 6 wins down the South Island and 2 pole positions, which gave him a point per pole position. Qualified on pole here yesterday, and he is now disappointed. So I talked to him, I said, what happened there? He had a perfect run there, and he says, oh, well, I didn't think it was going to be so fast, but Dean Bentley definitely is up the ante, and as I say that, I think Dean Bentley's moved, no, he hasn't moved up from 5th to 4th. There was another change in position there on the track by a bike in very, very similar colours, and that'll be Timothy Johnson, possibly 83. So on the track, Royd Walker-Holt, a 144.1. We go back to Doug Stockwell, 144.7. So that's how he got past Doug Stockwell, because Doug Stockwell was an early leader in this race. And we're looking in 3rd spot, Tim Johnson, which is a new name to me. In fact, I can't even remember being on the track yesterday. I have to be rude there. Tim Johnson finished in 7th place. What a great showing on the bike at number 83 on the SV650 Build Media sponsored machine. So he's sitting there now in 3rd place, and looking very, very keen on Doug Stockwell as well. Dean Bentley's moved through from 5th place to 4th place. We are joined in the commentating tower by the Bentley family, Nicky, Rex and Jacob, and boys trying to keep quiet because they're really keen on Dad out there. You'll hear them whispering or screaming in the background. That's all part of motorcycle racing. I know there's a lot of people. I invited a couple of people to come up and today and watch their favourite race from here, and both of them yesterday said, no, we holler and hoot too much. We'll make too much noise. So that's what the enthusiasm is around the paddock for the 3rd round of the New Zealand Superbike Championship. Those listening off in the distance and see test live timing, I hope you're enjoying it, and you should really be here, but that's the next best thing. And I'll take my hat off to C-Test live timing. What you can do is watch it all weekend live as it happens at the track. But if you want to go and watch a race later on, you can buy a race for $2.50. Just Google C-Test live timing on the internet. You can buy a race for $2.50 and get a login for the race. And you can watch that same race for 30 days. So take it around your mate's place, light up their computer, log the details in, and you've got 30 days to watch that. Or you can buy a hard copy if you want to contact C-Test directly, and they will print off your race, or indeed the whole meeting or the whole championship series, and they'll charge you for it, but there's a very, very fair price for the coverage that they've got as well. It's a spectacular move that's happened in recent years at New Zealand Superbike level, and Grant Collingwood's out there in a tent on the top of the tower. I'm sitting in a nice cushioned chair with a cold water and the air conditioning going, but he's sitting out there in all sorts of weather, and the weather is due to deteriorate later on in the day. So Royd Walker-Holt has dropped down into the 140.5 mark, 140.5. 40, so all eyes are on 2nd, 3rd and 4th. We're all in the 41s with the quickest man, Nick Sutherwood's moved up there. Nick Sutherwood's moved up there on bike 16. He's a man that's on mission at the moment, and he's capable of winning a New Zealand Pro Twins race, New Zealand Championship Pro Twins race here at Taupo and at any track as well. So Nick Sutherwood, he got a podium down at Timaru this year. I think he got 2nd. He must have got 2nd place, or maybe 3rd. I can't quite remember. Definitely Royd Walker-Holt had a clean sheet down there, 25 points at all the races, and pole position as well, and it's showing out there on the track. But the eyes are on second place at the moment. Still looks to be like Doug Stockwell, but Nick Salwood is on the fireworks-sponsored SV650 is reeling him in. We go back, Dean Bentley is starting to move up through there, started about 6th or 7th place in about turn 3 or 4, and he's moving through the field. Won the race here yesterday, but he's got his hands full trying to win these guys. Typically everybody wants to win. Sutherwood's tying up on the inside, goes up on the inside into turn 1, on the inside of Doug Stockwell. Wow, that was interesting. Doug Stockwell went wide, balked it a little bit, but it is definitely Nick Sutherwood. He's got that move. I wouldn't say it was a dirty move, it was a good clean move, but both those guys were on the same bit of real estate on the track. Dean Bentley's got all this in his sights, and I don't know, Dean had a win, and he's not looking good at the moment, but he is starting to reel those guys in second place. The fastest man on the track at the moment is way back in 6th place, and it's 140.413 by bike number 28, and that's bike number 74, sorry, and that's Robert Whittle. So fastest man on 6th place on the track, so that's a pretty good showing there, and we can see him out on the track. He's going to try and reel in Dean Bentley. He's got Timothy Johnson on bike number 83. Sandwiched between the two. As I say that, I think Timothy Johnson tries to make a move on Dean Bentley there on the machine, 650 Suzuki, but doesn't quite make it stick. So action aplenty here, plenty of dicing. Royd Walker Holt still checked out in the distance. 8-lap race, 3 laps down, 5 laps to go. They disappear out of sight. We'll be expecting, of course, first Royd Walker Holt. Keeps a calm head. It is very, very hard to lead a race because you don't know sort of what's going on behind you, and I don't even know whether he's got his pitboard marker out there. In fact, he did have one out there yesterday, but he wasn't told about it, so he didn't even know what was happening, and that is part of the blame. He says that cost him the race. He didn't know the boys were coming through in behind, but I see Dean Bentley's dropped back off, and the boys have come through there. That'll be the Timothy Johnson and Robert Whittle, and Robert Whittle, the fastest man on the track at the moment in that last lap, 3rd of 8 this weekend. Here we go, another one for Royd Walker Holt, and Nick Sutherwood broken away a little bit from Doug Stockwell, but the eyes are on there, and it is 74.83 and Dean Bentley, so Dean Bentley slipped down into 6th place. Robert's still the quickest man on the track, although the last lap Royd Walker Holt up to the end of 1:45s, so just 0.1 of a second off what he was doing before. But looking out there for seeing whether Doug Stockwell can come back on Nick Sutherwood there in 2nd and 3rd place. And the break has happened. The break away from that pack is Robert Whittle. He's reeling in that 2nd and 3rd place. So 141.3. The other guys are on the 141.3s and 141.8s. So he's got a chance of reeling in, a bit like Al Hugendoosen did in the last Supersport 600 race. And Dean Bentley closes up there on Timothy Johnson, but not enough to pass him as they go into the hairpin on the 4th lap. Halfway through the race, it is Royd Walker Holt right out in the front. Let's go down to the further down. I'll start it again from this front. Royd Walker Holt, Nick Sutherwood, Doug Stockwell, Robert Whittle. Timothy Johnson's moved up over and above Dean Bentley, like I mentioned. Scotty Kinder, we had him up here in the commentating box yesterday for the ultralight and 125 class on bike 19. Jordan Knowles is doing a little bit better than yesterday on bike 69. Sarah Elliott, I think, finished 2nd to last yesterday. She'll be a bit happier with 9th. Has the ability to get up further up the field, but good solid showing for her. Decided this weekend not to run the 250 and concentrate on the 650. Dickie Smith sitting there in 10th place. Aaron Sherrell from Christchurch, and Jeff Kelly, another Canterbury man. I think he lives in Hamner Springs on the ESPC services, is bike number 12 out near the track. So 5 laps on as we go past the start finish line. It is still Royd Walker Holt, and Nick Sutherwood is making inroads to him, but not quite enough. In fact, Nick Sutherwood's almost fastest on the track. It's still the fastest on the track at the moment. So where we got, it's Sutherwood in 2nd, Stockwell 3rd, Robert Whittle there is riding a little bit of a lonely, no, it's not a lonely race, he's in the pool that back for 2nd, and 4th, 5th and 6th, but he's right now on the tail of Doug Stockwell. So, and he is the fastest man on the track, and we're still looking out. Dean Bentley has got a bit of a breakthrough there, and Dean Bentley's moved up into 5th place. Was as low as 7th earlier on, but he's moved up there a bit. So action aplenty here at the Taupo Motorsport Park. Now this is the New Zealand TT Trophy. Royd Walker Holt has already won the New Zealand Grand Prix at Ruapuna on the 1st weekend of January, and is very, very keen to get this one on here. He's got a clean run of points there. I'm just trying to look for the points. Don't quite have it in front of me, so we won't concentrate on that at the moment, but he's definitely king of the castle in the points department. All eyes are on 2nd, 3rd and 4th, and Robert Whittle's having the ride of his season so far. Excuse me, folks, just time for a little bit of cold water there to lube up the old tonsils and that. We will be joined later in the day, I believe, by Neil Ritchie. Neil's been commentating on the New Zealand Motocross Championships just down the road in Taupo yesterday, and I believe he's coming along here somewhere along the line. He would have done prize giving and had a few beers last night, so hopefully we'll be joined by him lately. Roy Walker Holt coming through there, 6 laps down when he passes a stripe, but the eyes are on the second, third and fourth rider there, and it is still Nick Southwood with Doug Stockwell in there, and Robert Whittle is right on the tail there. Dean Bentley's broken away from those other two riders, Timothy Johnson and Scott Kinder. Scott's moving up a bit. He wasn't in the feature there before, but he's certainly on bike number 19. Scott Kinder has moved up the field there, and Dean Bentley needs to make sure he doesn't get these two guys tackling on him, because he wants some points. He doesn't feature down the south, make the south championship, but he certainly wants to ride as well as he can, and a podium would be the best we could hope for at the moment, with the clean run by Roy Walker Holt out in the front the next 3 bikes, but it's a long way off at the moment. 6 laps down of an 8-lap race, so when they come round over this next lap, they'll be receiving the white flag here at Taupo Motorsport Park. Eyes are plenty on the midfield there. Sarah Elliott has moved up a place. So yes, definitely, Sarah Elliott has moved up on Jordan Knowles, and as I say that, Jordan Knowles dives up on the inside, but Sarah Elliott takes it back there, and Nikki Smith right on the tail of both of those two riders. So and for the minor money way down the field is good dicing going on as well. Aaron Shrell's dropped off the pace there on the man about glass Suzuki SV 650. Then we go into one behind him and Jeff Kelly. No chance of anyone being lapped in this race. I see the flag bearers out there at the start-finish line and reeling out that white flag, so that's always good. We saw lappers play a part possibly in the 600 Supersport race. It was a 15-lap race, I must admit, though, as opposed to an 8-lap race we've got here, but no chance of lappers being a problem at the moment. Doug Stockwell lines up Nick Southwood going down that back straight and passes him almost with ease. He just seemed to be lining him up there, had the superior power down the straight and outbraked him. In fact, is that even Doug Stockwell? It might even be Robert Whittle. We'll have to have a look there, and indeed it is. Robert Whittle has gone up there. Robert Whittle was the man on the move there, so still the fastest man on track. He's put in a 139. Roy Walker Holt has still only managed to do a 140, so that's a 139.649. So Robert Whittle, man, here's a man on a mission. He's gone up into second place and making a break away from the fireworks-sponsored machine of Nick Southwood, and then Doug Stockwell, who is the leader. So we've got about 10 or 12 seconds between first and fourth. Doug Stockwell was way up there in the front at one stage until Roy Walker Holt got through there, but now he's in a lonely fourth at the moment, and in fact he balks coming out of the turn 6, I think it is, the right-hander, so maybe he's got machine troubles, but all eyes too on Dean Bentley, and somebody's closing up and going right round the outside of the hairpin, just but made the track too wide, hasn't quite made it stick, has he? Dean Bentley back in the front with a side-by-side through there. Dino got it? No, Dino didn't get it. That's his wife going, oh, so I know damn well. In fact, that was on turn 9, so action plenty further through the field, so that would have to be Doug Stockwell, no, not Doug Stockwell, sorry, that'll be Scott Kinder moving up there, or maybe Timothy Johnson. Didn't quite catch the colours as they went through there. The white flag is out, and I see the management rolling out the checkered flag for another clean win, and of course it's the New Zealand TT title here at Taupo Motorsport Park. So Roy Walker Holt, I know his father's floating around the pits at the moment, sort of doesn't like to hang around too much because he doesn't want to put pressure on the boy, and although if he needs a hand he'll get his fingers dirty and that, so his old man's here to see another clean win and the New Zealand TT title there. Congratulations Roy Walker Holt on the Drury Tyres sponsored machine. There we go, 74, a man on a mission, Robert Whittle, done number 16, that's the podium, number 16 Nick Southwood, Doug Stockwell and Scotty Kinder ahead of the 6th place man, Dean Bentley. Timothy Johnson goes through, and we'll look out for this dice we had before between Sarah Elliott and Nikki Smith. Sarah Elliott, yep, definitely the bike number, Sarah Elliott is out the front. In fact, where is Nikki?